Just tell us where to go. We will follow you. Just show us your way. You know just what to do. Just show us your light, so we know where you are. Just show us your path. We don't care how far. We'll go with a smile on the face, just singing. Let your will be done. You can have all of us. You are all we need. Your love is enough. You can have all of us. Let your will be done. Help us to live our day to day. We live to please you, Lord. Teach us how to pray. We want you to hear our voice. We'll pray with a smile on the face, just singing. Let your will be done. Let your will be done. You can have all of us.
Yeah.
You can have all of us, Lord. You are all we need.
Thanks for joining us today.
Your love.
We're going to be going live in a few moments with Miss Keishan Rowe. We'll be discussing 10 things we can do during this economic downturn. 10 things we can do financially during this economic downturn. Do me a favor, share this for those of you that are logging in. Hey, babe. Yeah.
Let your will be done. Let your will be done.
Father, let your will be done. Shout out to the homies Kyrie, Al Parker from the Ohio area for this dope song.
Let your will be done. We'll do whatever you want us to do. Let your will be done. We'll say whatever you want us to say.
Yeah, G, this is a dope song, bro. Thank you guys for joining in. Thank you guys for joining in. Please share, please share. We got a dope conversation that we're gonna have today. This is not our normal hour, but I thought this was information that was vital for us to share with you guys. Yeah, Josh, this is Luke right here, bro. Yeah, shout out to everybody. Thank you for joining in today. We're going to be going live with Miss Keishan Rowe. She's noted as the Legacy Lady. And today we're going to be talking about 10 things that we can do financially during the economic downturn. Absolutely are. Red Hands is it. If you love gospel music, if you love good music in general, go check out Red Hands. My man Kyrie from the Ohio area and his band, just doing what they've been created to do. But today we are going live with Miss Keishan Rowe, and she's going to be sharing with us 10 things we can do financially during this economic downturn. This is not our normal hour, but we wanted to create some time to address some of the things that are going on in our communities and around the world. Thank you to everyone who logs in every single day and listen in to the different conversations that I've been having with our different guests. I pray that what we've been talking about, the subject matters we've been covering, has been helping you. Last week, we were able to talk to Rodney Addison, and we discussed health in our communities. The topics that we're discussing on these days are just information that was sparked inside of me when watching the state of emergency that Diddy hosted as it pertains to COVID-19 and the impact on the African American community. We can't talk about, or we can't stress enough, the importance of physical health, emotional health, mental health, and financial health. We must come up. And I'm generally speaking, we must. If you're doing your thing, keep doing your thing. If you need to do your thing, start doing your thing. But it's a must in our community. The reality is, guys, when this is all over, we're still going to have to deal with the aftermath of companies shutting down for months at a time. And we need to prepare ourselves. We need to position ourselves for what's to come, for what's happening now, but then also for what's to come. As a pastor, as a husband, I recognize my influence, and I recognize that what I say, people take seriously. So I want to be responsible with my words. I want to be responsible with my platforms to make sure that I'm sharing life from a position of being holistic. I want us all to live a life of being holistic. Like, we can't be spiritually deep in the word, but then our lives are poor and broken and fractured and dysfunctional. Believe God's design for our lives is for us to be whole, for us to be healthy, for us to have influence and authority and understand our influence and authority. And I believe that I should be the one, as a pastor, as a leader of my home, to exemplify those things. And so I try to make sure I align myself with peoples and environments, people and environments that allow me to be the best. Okay. And so, as I've been talking during the week with several pastor friends, leader friends, musician friends, we've been covering different topics, and we've covered health. We covered health. We talked about mental health. We talked about physical health. We talked about emotional health. And today we're going to be talking about financial health. Financial health. All right. Just some things that we can do and position ourselves to live better. Live better. Live better from a sense of making sure we can have a little more than the basic necessities of life. But we got to start with the basics. We got to start with the basics. And we can't victimize ourselves anymore when we have access to a ton of information out here that can help us, advance our lives. And so I'm encouraged today, and I'm excited when she comes on. We're going to begin a discussion. We're going to be talking about 10 things that we can do financially, 10 things that we can do financially during this economic downturn. Do you have a plan? All right. Do you have a plan? She's going to be sharing some of her principles and practices that allows her to, do what she does well. And she also coaches people in financial planning. And so, she's going to give us more insight on the stimulus package, how that works. If you're a business owner, she's going to give us insight. I know we read that they ran out of money, and they just signed a bill for additional money. And then also the Treasury went out to some of those big companies that received stimulus package and asked them to give their money back by a certain time. And so you got to understand how a lot of those dynamics work. You got to have like relationships, with your bank. with, the loan officers and, the people where put your money. You got to understand how money works. And if you don't, you're going to always be at a disadvantage. You're going to always be left behind. And I believe that this is a time for us to become more educated. This is the time for us to make the necessary sacrifices for us to, live better. And when I say live better, I'm not talking about, buying mansions, and high end cars, but live better to where, if there's an economic downturn and you lose your job, it's okay because you've planned and you've positioned yourself to where this does not have as much damage as it could have had you not planned and had you not prepared. And so I want to challenge all of our listeners today and whoever will view this to, make the necessary sacrifices, become the sacrifice, regardless of what society is telling you to do, following trends. You become a trendsetter. You make the necessary sacrifices. It doesn't mean you can't have fun. Doesn't mean you can't travel. Doesn't mean you can't live. Doesn't mean you can't enjoy your life. It just means you know where your priorities are, and you're going to take the necessary steps to make sure that when you go on vacation, you can enjoy vacation. And you're not worried about financially what's going on at home. Shout out to Dr. Williams. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for joining in. To everybody that's stopping by, we are waiting for our guest, Keishan Rowe, to join us. She had a fire drill as we were starting this, and so we want to just give her time to get herself settled, get her son settled, and we're going to have this discussion. So, again, please share this conversation and this dialogue with, your family and your friends. Once again, I greatly appreciate all the support throughout the week. And we have some more stuff lined up. We have some more stuff lined up. Next week is going to be epic, guys. Next week is going to be epic. I have some musician friends that are going to be coming through. We're going to be talking to creatives about this season and about this time. Was critical. I'll give you the lineup. We have already confirmed Travis Taylor, who has done extensive work in the music industry as a background singer, and he's stepping out to be a solo artist. But currently, he's also one of the singers for Kurt Carr. He's done work with so many different people. He's worked with Black Girls Rock as a vocal director. And we have Ayanna George, who is just finishing a 3-year tour with John Legend. And she's going to be starring in a Broadway play. I believe it's the Michael Jackson Broadway play. So she's coming on next week. Troy Bright, who's a veteran in the music industry, mostly noted for singing with Kurt Carr. We have producer, singer, minister Myron Butler, who's going to be coming on sharing insight and knowledge, life, wisdom. And we also have Tanya Baker. If you don't know any of these names, as they say in the culture, just Google them, and you'll get to, see what they're doing, and you get to, get connected to their gift and their platform. And I promise you, it's going to bless your life. So I'm excited about, what we're going to be sharing next week, talking about mentoring, talking about, building the right relationships. We're going to be talking about, quite a few things. We're going to be talking about quite a few things, again, to be a blessing to the people as they listen in. Guys, she is here. She is here. She is settled. But just want to, give her another 30 seconds to, before come on and speak and be a blessing. Amen.
Boy.
That's my church talk. That's my church talk. But I'm truly excited again that she's here, and I just can't wait for her to share. But real quick, guys, again, please share this particular live with your friends, with your family. These topics are very important to life. These topics are very important to life. I want you to, Go to church, right? Because most of my audience is church. I want you to go to church, and I want you to be able to give liberally because you've made the necessary plannings for your life and you have it to give. And you have it to give. I want you to, you know, be able to position yourself if you see that person in church that may be in between jobs, that may be in between, you know, jobs and then opening a business. You can be the one to plant that seed because you have positioned yourself to do it. Today's conversation is critical. It's important, and we're gonna get right to it, ladies and gentlemen. We have the legacy lady with us. We have the legacy lady with us. And I'm excited. I'm excited that she is with us. I had the opportunity to work with her over the few years. She's done some stuff for me for our convocation, sharing with our young adults the importance of financial planning, the importance of budgeting. Shout out to my brother Hilton Rawls. Shout out to my brother Hilton Rawls. Shout out to Lenny. Please share. Please share. Shout out to Ladera. Thank you guys for joining in today. But she's been, a blessing. And I follow her on Instagram, and every now and then we get to, chop it up about what's happening in the economy, concerning finances, investing and different things like that. But, we're going to get right to it, guys. She's here. We're going to maximize this time with her. So Keish, say what's up to the people.
Hello. First of all, let me say I apologize for the delay. I had a minor emergency that I needed to take care of, but I am so grateful for the opportunity that you have given to me to present something extremely, extremely important to your audience. So I want to say, hey, what's up? How you guys doing? We're going to talk about something important. And Jason, I want to just do a little check on you because we were supposed to talk earlier.
Oh,
yeah. We didn't get a chance to, but I hope you're doing great. I hope your family and everything is doing fine.
Thanks.
So, yeah, I can get right into it if you need me to.
Yeah, we're here. So, again, guys, we are discussing, financial literacy, the importance of being sound when it comes to making financial decisions. So much of our community and our culture, we have the wrong focus. And I'm gonna be 100, guys. We gotta stop getting mad at people who taking advantage of the rules and the laws because we choose to not educate ourselves, and you get mad because the wealthy may be paying less taxes than you are. Well, they have people in their camp that's making sure that they keep as much as they bring in than us, who's paying majority of the bills and not educating ourselves, and we're leaving money on the table. And that's why it's important to have people like Keishan in your life to help you and make sure that you get to keep as much, and then not just keep it but grow it.
That's what I'm talking about.
And grow it so that you can leave your family a legacy. One of the things my wife has been like really, really pushing, she's like, she doesn't want anything to happen and, leave the family stuck with a bill. It's like, I want to be able to pay for my nephew or my niece college, or at least a year. Things like that. It may sound lofty, but it's a goal that shows that you understand how money works and how wealth works. And that is something that we don't connect to as much as we should. So we're talking about 10 things we can do financially during this economic downturn. Keys, right before you locked in, I told them, just because this is happening now don't mean once they reopen everything goes back to normal.
And so it's crazy that you even bring that up, because I don't think we are cognizant of the very fact that things changed real quick. Our new normal is definitely different than what it used to be. And a lot of people are still going about and doing the same things that they're doing. They're still buying things that they don't need right now. They're still doing those things to continue to perpetuate the spirit of debt, as opposed to being mindful and understanding that this is, and everybody has heard it, this is unprecedented times. We have
Mm-hmm.
TV, we have seen it on Instagram, Facebook, but it's their harsh reality. And a lot of people aren't tapping into the fact that they need to get their finances together. If we really, because today is going to be like a straight conversation, for those who don't know me, I'm not sure if you shared a little bit about me, but for those who don't know me, I'm an accountant by profession, as well as a financial coach. And what I love is speaking to people that look like us about getting their finances together. And like Jason said, a lot of people don't realize that there are so many things out there to keep the money in your pocket. But if you don't have people in your camp, if you're not having those conversations, me and Jason at one point, we were sharing stock information, what stocks to invest in. I mean, like, this is what other people are doing. Why aren't we tapping into it the same way? And unfortunately, the children of God, we have an advantage, but sometimes we don't realize our advantage. Some of us are good stewards of that 10% that God has given to us, but if we're honest, we are terrible with the 90%. So today we're going to talk about how to capitalize on the 90%, the things that you need to do, especially in this economy, because if you're not doing it, you're doing a disservice not only to yourself, but to your family.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what is one of the first things we should be doing?
Oh, the first thing that the first thing, number one on the list, the first thing that people need to be doing right now is creating a budget. And I feel like a lot of times people feel as though, you know what, a budget is something that restricts me from, living my best life. But they don't realize that a budget creates so many doors for you. It opens up the doors for you to invest, to save, all of these different things, of which we're going to talk about later on in the discussion. But having a budget is crucial. And the reason why is it lets you know how much money is coming in and how much money is going out. And
Yeah,
Dave Ramsey coined it as the give every dollar a name. That's what he calls, having a budget is giving every single dollar that you have a name. And it speaks volume because, again, it gives you an idea of how much money is going in and out of the door.
yeah,
So,
yeah. That's
a
good.
budget
That's good
is very.
stuff. That's good stuff. I am definitely guilty of not creating a budget. I am definitely guilty of not creating a budget.
Uh-huh.
So I know the benefits
Uh-huh.
and consequences,
Okay.
because, guys, if we're not careful, sometimes we wake up and it's like, yo, where did it go?
Yeah.
Where did it go? And I think one of the key things that sticks out is assign every dollar.
Yes.
Assign
Yes.
every dollar. Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Um, the next thing, what should we do? What should we be doing?
The next thing is extremely critical, and that's negotiate your bill pay, right?
Yeah,
Negotiate your bill pay. And I want everybody on the live to really take a look at, again. So the things that I'm telling you right now is for you to go step by step and say, you know what, I created my budget. That's step number one. Now, step number two, after I created my budget, now let me look at my bills, right? And let me take it a step further and contact my service providers to see if, I can get a reduction in my bills, right? Right now, there are a lot of service providers who are saying, you know what, if you're unable to pay your bills, you don't have to worry about it. We'll put that in, deferment. You don't have to pay it for a while. But a lot of the things that people need to do is get on the phone and negotiate the bill pay. If
yeah,
you, for whatever reason, let's say you weren't able to pay your bill, right? And you have accumulated penalty and interest on that bill that you have not paid. All you have to do is get on the phone and say, hello, is there anything available for what's going on in the economy right now? Are there any programs that can benefit me in this season? Or you don't have to say season because that sounds real churchy. But you can get on the phone and say, is there anything that is available for me as a customer to reduce or to eliminate any kind of penalty or interest on my account? And 9 times out of 10, they would do it.
thank you for saying that, because I know when everything was happening, that was definitely one of the first things my wife did. And she was like,
Yeah.
babe, call the credit card company and call and just find out. And they definitely reduced that interest rate. They definitely
Yes.
reduced that interest rate. And I believe actually it may go out for almost the rest of the year, I believe, when she said it. When they said it, like they said, well, we can reduce this for, the remainder of the year. And that, I'm like, wow, like that's something that, again, if we're not knowledgeable of it, if we're not knowledgeable of it, we're just going to keep paying more. You know what I'm saying? And again, that's one of the ways we leave more money on the table, because
Yeah.
the more we give out, the less we're able to invest and, grow and put,
Mhm.
again, put ourselves in situations where we have the advantage rather than the disadvantage.
Yes.
That's
There's
good
a little
stuff.
feedback. Were you hearing the feedback in the back? It sounded like something was like
Like something
crackling.
typing or something. Hold on
Yeah.
1 second. I actually don't know what that is. Hold on. And it stopped.
But
Oh,
yeah. Okay. So yeah, like you said, that's something that your wife did. I think again, in this day and age, we have to become very disciplined in being our own advocates, speaking on our own behalf, calling the insurance company, calling, your credit card company, having the discussion with them, because there are things out there available to us if we take advantage of it.
yeah, that's good stuff. What's the next thing?
Minimize additional debt. Number
Yeah.
three, minimize additional debt. And what I mean by that is, so a lot of people, I'm not sure if any of your followers um, have subscribed or ordered things from Fashion Nova, right? Last week, when everyone was getting their stimulus check, Fashion Nova decided to send out an email or an alert telling people, don't forget that once your stimulus check comes in, make sure to shop at Fashion Nova. We have a certain
Wow.
amount. So even like, stores are trying to capitalize on the fact that people are staying home. They're doing, a lot of things online. Let's put in their face sales. Let them continue to feed the economy or feed our business by us putting things in their face. And what's happening is people are spending more and more money. If we're honest, we don't know when they're going to open up the world again for us to do anything. Why are you going to put yourself in more debt by buying things right now that you don't need? You're not going outside right now. You're not. So you're going to buy these clothes and get dressed up to stay in the house. Sometimes we really have to take a step back and look at our actions to say, does this make sense? And right now, you accumulating more debt makes absolutely no sense. So right now, minimize as much debt as possible. And everything goes back to point number one, creating a budget. If you do
Yeah.
not have a budget, then you yourself will not see how you can continue to minimize the additional debt that you have coming in.
Wow. That's good stuff, guys. I'm telling you, we have to take advantage of this time that we're in, because we're not gonna get it back. Like
No,
I we're not getting it back. And this is probably, all of us have probably been invited somewhere and felt the pressure of, well, I can't really afford to go, but we don't want to tell people we can't afford to go. So it's like we go and we spend the extra money and we charge it. But this the time, ain't nobody asking you to go nowhere.
nowhere,
So
nowhere.
save and pay up some stuff, pay off some stuff. So what's number 4?
Number four, cancel service providers, right? Cancel service providers. And this is the way for you to, again, eliminate unnecessary expenses. Right now, no one is going to the gym. I do know that there are gyms that are not issuing payments right now because obviously the gyms are closed. But going forward, if you are not someone who regularly goes to the gym, once they again open back up the world, this is something that you want to do. You want to cancel that subscription. Anything that is not serving you any immediate purpose right now, you
Yeah.
need to cancel cancel the service provider. That is something that you have to do. In addition to that, I want you to, so everybody knows of what's going on with the insurance companies. A lot of the insurance companies right now, especially car insurance companies, are offering discounts for their clients. So because they're not driving at this time. But there's something that I want to also add, right? So again, a lot of the insurance companies are saying, we'll give you 20% off. Allstate, Geico. I have Geico. They're offering 15% off the next policy. Well, the next renewal of your policy, you get a certain percent off. But what a lot of these insurance companies aren't telling you is that you can potentially have your insurance deducted even more. And the reason why they're not
Come on,
telling you
talk
this
about it. Come on, talk about it.
is because it's taking money out of their pocket. And what I mean by this, okay, when you first got your car, you remember you got on the phone with them and you shared with them, okay, I'm getting a new car. This is what's going on. They always ask you, what's the make and model of your car, which drives what your rate is going to be. And in addition to that, they ask you, how many miles do you anticipate on driving, right? So some people might say, you know, I drive to work, so I'm going to have a certain amount of miles for the year. So your insurance is based on those factors. It's based on how much you intend on driving as far as miles go, the make and model of your car, and then some other factors. Right now, you're probably just driving 0 miles. You're not going anywhere. So what does that mean? That means that your insurance should be lower because the amount of miles you're driving is not the same. They're not going to tell you that because all they're doing is giving you a haircut at the top and saying, you know what, we're going to give people 20% off, 15% off for a couple of months because of what's going on. But what you need to do is get on the phone with them and tell them, is there anything that you can do in regards to my miles because I'm not driving anymore? I'm telling you this because it works. I've done it for myself and I've shared this information on different platforms to other listeners. So that's something
Yeah,
that you need to do.
good stuff. Good stuff. I'm telling you, I'm definitely picking up some tips here today. What's the next one?
The next one is know your work policy, right?
Mm,
Know the policy of your job. So there are some people right now who unfortunately are not working, but there's still a lot of individuals who are working, right? It is extremely important, especially in this season, to know the policies of your job.
right.
Know what the sick pay leave is. Know if you signed up for disability with your job. I
Yeah.
shared this story. I'm going to share this story with your audience. A couple of years ago, I thought I still had the juice. And I'm a big Kobe Bryant fan. Rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. But back in the days, I thought I still had the juice. You know, I used to play a little ball back in the day, so I
All
thought I
right.
still. So I decided to go play basketball one Saturday, a couple of days before I was supposed to go to LA.
Right.
I'm out on the court trying to do a little shake and bake, and I tore my Achilles tendon. Now, this is the second time I tore my Achilles tendon playing basketball, which is an indication that I need to, you know, put
Chill.
my shoes away, my sneakers away. It's a wrap for me. But I decided that I still wanted to go out. I was in a position where I couldn't walk. I had to get emergency surgery because I tore my Achilles tendon and I was out of work. I had disability insurance through my job, so I didn't have to tap into my savings account or anything like that to take care of certain bills because I had disability insurance. Now, a lot of people, when they start their new job or they're transitioning to a new workforce, they always ask you when you're filling out your paperwork, do you want to have disability insurance? And you pay a little into it each month, right? And some people opt out of it, but I'm telling you, look and see if you have disability insurance and see what it is. Because God forbid you're unable to work because of the coronavirus. Do you have that supplemental income through your job to leverage off of? So that's
Right.
something.
Yo, that's good.
Also,
Yep.
also know whether or not, let's say your job is going to put you on a furlough or they are going to terminate you. Again, you don't know these things, But look at the policy for your job to see if I was to be laid off, what is the policy for severance package? Will I be entitled to it? Is it negotiable? Like, knowing all of these things beforehand will make you a better person at the end of the day.
Definitely. So, guys, basically what she is saying is take your finances and put them in your hands and take control. Be proactive. Be proactive with these things. Don't be reactive, because when you're reactive, that means you're responding either out of crisis or you're responding out of desperation. You're responding out of stress. And with all those things happening, we tend to miss things. So let's be proactive. Let's be proactive with, making sure we're on point with all of this. This is what's up, Kate. I'm loving this right now. I'm loving this right now. So okay, what's next? What we got next? Because I'm hungry. This is good.
The next thing I want you to do is prepare to save. Prepare to save. And the
Yeah.
reason why that is so important is, again, because 76% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, which is a high number. And the reason why they're living paycheck to paycheck is because they don't understand this key component, which is saving.
Yeah.
My father taught me from a very early age the importance of putting money away for a rainy day. And like many, I love to look good. I love to take pride in how we look. I think as a culture and as a race, we love to take pride in how we look. But I feel like sometimes we do it at the expense of our pockets. So we're constantly trying to keep up with the Joneses, the Williams, and all the different communities or families. And we're not realizing that we need to start putting money away for a rainy day. So you want to prepare to save. And right now, more than ever, if you do not have a savings account, you're doing, again, a disservice to yourself, because God forbid you're unable to work. Where are you going to pull from this additional revenue or this additional income? So you want to prepare to save. And there's a couple of banks out there that have really high interest rates. You can look into a bank called Ally, which has over 1% interest rate.
Shout out to Ally. Shout out to Ally. I do business with them. Shout out.
Goldman Sachs. They have a division called the Marcus. They actually offer over 1.5 interest rate on the money that you have in the bank. So that's another place that you want to take a look at. For more information on which banks offer really high interest rate, you can go over to magnifymoney.com, and they can provide you with the slew of banks that offer interest rates. So that's something that you want to check out.
Cool. Yo, while we're talking about that, you mentioned magnifymoney.com. Are there any budget apps you suggest? Any budgeting apps?
So for me, I'll say two things. So there are devices like Mint that you can utilize to update your budget, put in your information. I actually have an Excel spreadsheet on my website, KeishanRowe.com. You go onto the website, and there's a section where you can actually download the budget worksheet. But Mint gives you the ability to have it in your hands as far as an app, so that you can see everything that's going on.
Okay.
So that is something that you could potentially use. Or you could write it down on a sheet of paper. I'm pretty old school. I actually have information that I write down, and that's how I track things. So you can also do it that way. I think the biggest takeaway is actually doing it. I think a lot of times we become so consumed and bombarded with all of these different apps, all of this stuff to try to make our lives easier. But if we're honest with ourselves, we still don't utilize it. So once you make up in your mind that you really want to do this, I think doing something as simple as writing it down could be effective as well.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Guys, basically what's happening here, we have no excuse at this point in our lives. It's up to us to take responsibility for our finances. And with this, I'm hoping to become a catalyst to help, break poor habits. Um, Now, see, if we was in church, I'd be like, the devil's a liar. He's trying to get in the live, the system, that crackling noise is. Hold on one second.
Sure.
Okay. Um, Hold on one second. Let me see something.
Yeah, so guys, just savings. And what I also want to add is that having a savings account is different from having an emergency account. There are two distinctions. Having an emergency account pretty much is an opportunity for you to put money aside. I normally tell my followers to put aside, at least 6 months of expenses. And again, your expenses are a reflection of what you have on your budget. So again, everything goes back to the budget. But that's something that you want to keep in mind. Having an emergency account is different from having a savings account. And in addition to that, make sure you put savings on your budget. I was able to save close to $100,000 in cash, not because I'm rich, but because I understood the concept of savings. So right now, if I didn't want to work for a whole entire year, I can do so. Again, not because I'm rich, but because once I started my job in corporate America and I was making that good money, I decided that I wanted to save automatically. I had my money coming out of my checking account, going into an online bank, and it was doing it for me automatically every paycheck. Before I knew it, I was at $20,000, $40,000, $60,000, $80,000. And again, it's not because I'm rich. It's because I understood the concept of savings.
Yo, that's great stuff, Kay. That's really, really great stuff. Just waiting for a response from the support team. I'm not really sure what that crackling noise is. So, um, again, guys, we want to encourage you guys to save. Want you to be on point. P, what's next?
So the next thing is prepare to invest, right? So you cannot save your way to wealth. Even though I just mentioned the importance of savings, which is extremely critical in this time, you cannot save yourself to wealth. The way you do that is by having an investment account. Now, me telling you to have an investment account, I want to do away with a couple of myths. One of which is that you need to have thousands of dollars to invest in the stock market. In actuality, you don't. If
Nope.
you have $10, you can invest in the stock market. If you have $50, you can invest in the stock market. If you have $50,000, you can invest in the stock market. It doesn't matter. All the big key takeaway is for you to get in the habit and prepare yourself to invest, right? A lot of people want that whole quick rich kind of thing in their life, but if you really want to build long-term wealth, you're going to have to be mindful that if you put your money into the stock market, let it sit for a while. Right now, I have already lost $30,000 in the stock market because of what's going on, right? But the good thing about it is the stock market always recovers. But imagine if I had all my eggs in the stock market. Remember, I have money saved and I also have money in investing. And that's why I put investing as number 7 and not before budgeting and not before savings. Because if you lose your money in the stock market, that's it. But if you have your savings available and on hand, you're in a good position. But investing is also a great tool to build wealth. And unfortunately, our generation is not privy to certain things. But in this season, this is the time for you to become very knowledgeable on how to invest.
Yo, good stuff. Good stuff. That's really important because I know definitely definitely a couple of weeks ago, when they was calling that bear market, it was some rough days for me. Woo,
Mm-hmm.
woo. I was on the phone with my lifeline, like, yo, what is going on? But actually, and because I had really just recently started getting into it more and more, and but I also felt like this is probably one of the best times to learn. I'm glad that I really started giving it more attention because now I know what to expect and have, you know, a little experience in it. So definitely, guys, prepare to invest. Think about your future. Think about your future. Right now, where I am, one of the things we have to look at before we move to the next point is if when you were brought into the world and you didn't have anything, let's not take that mentality and pass it to the next generation. Let's be the ones to make that sacrifice. You know what? I'm going to be the one who makes the sacrifice because the reality is, yo, partying, it's temporary. It's the temporary, you know, high. You know, you feel good for a moment, and you know, you have people that, you know, turning up every weekend. And again, when you look at the amount of money many have made, especially if you've been working, you know, 15, 20 years, you might be upset. If you go back and look at that net income, that gross income tallied up and see how much you've made, or just go look at the rent you've been paying for the last 15 years and add all those months up and multiply that. That's the amount of money that has come through your hands. And I know a lot of times we say we don't have money or we don't have the money. And it's like when you realize what's come through your hands, you know, you may take a step back and start reassessing things.
And I think that's and unfortunately that's the thing. I think as a generation, people live for the immediate high. They don't have delayed gratification, right? So
Yeah.
they want everything now. We live in a popcorn society, so we want everything now. If I see it, I want it right now. And people are not taking into consideration what's going to happen a couple of days down the road. Like all of those people that spent a ton of money going out partying, and right now they have no money to account for all of the things that they did. You know, it's unfortunate because you could have been in a better position. And the takeaway from this is not to enjoy your life. I think a lot of times people get it twisted where it's like, oh, you know, having a budget is going to put me on something strict and regimented and I can't enjoy my life. No, I am very frugal. I'm very thrifty, but I also love to enjoy my life. I travel extensively throughout the years. And it's not because, you know, I'm rich. Again, a lot of it has to do with how I manage my finances. And I think if we are in this season, again, we have to be extremely diligent with where our money is going. If not, we're playing ourselves just like that. And the Bible talks about people being wise and being foolish. Are you going to be wise or are you going to be foolish in this season? Are you going to be like the virgins who ran out of oil? No, you got to get your stuff together. It's crazy. Like we really have to. We don't realize how much potential we have. Like, as I mentioned before in the onset of the conversation, we are at an advantage. We are children of God, and we are children who live in the world. We have two advantages against us. I mean, for us, not against us. For us.
I got you. Listen, guys. I mentioned partying, right? Let me explain partying.
Uh-oh. What the saint saying?
Extra church conferences. Extra church conferences, aka partying. Like, you can't go to 7 conferences in a year. Like, pick 2 and maximize that information that you get from those 2. Because especially if you're going to the right ones, you're getting a lot. Stop chasing the conferences. Like, you know, we ain't gonna be in church throwing off on those who party and not talk about you and all your conferences and revivals. Giving all your money and you not saving properly. Gosh. So it's like I got preach miracle signs and wonders.
It's about stewardship. Stewarding your time, stewarding your finances, stewarding all of those things that are gonna make you a better person at the end of the day. That's what it's about.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So what we got next, Keith?
The next thing we have is credit scores and credit reports. So it is extremely, extremely important on a daily basis for you to know what's going on in your account. And there are a few websites that you could check your credit report or your credit score. For your credit score, you could check it for free at creditkarma.com. And for your credit report, you could check it at freecreditreport.com. And I highly recommend, again, right now, there were scammers before. Scammers are on the prowl right now. They are going to want to steal any and everybody's identity. And because we're on the computer 24/7 now, your information is out there. But guess what? You can be in control of what's going on. I check my credit score at least once a week. And the reason why I do that is because someone is constantly trying to steal my identity. They're trying to open up. Last year, I had someone try to get an Apple laptop in my name. I had someone try to open up a credit card in my name. And the reason why I know this is because I kept seeing these alerts on my credit score.
Yeah.
That my points were going down. This was happening. And I'm like, this is not me. But once I was able, and the thing about it is you can call whoever, the credit bureau, speak with them and put a block on your account. And that's something that I had to do. That every time somebody decided that they wanted to use my information to open up an account, they would have to get in contact with me first.
Yep. Good stuff. Good stuff. I definitely locked my joint. Like, so it's like somebody trying to get it. They like, nah, we can't even get in to check your background. So it's, guys, critical. It's funny you mentioned that. I want to say there's been close to 100 million stolen already.
Yeah.
There's been close to 100 million since the announcement. Since the announcement of this COVID-19, there's been close to 100 million stolen already. I just watched a couple of videos and read about that earlier this week. So please, guys, take advantage. Be proactive. Don't wait for something to happen and victimize yourself. Okay, what's next?
The next thing is life insurance, right? Having life insurance is critical. And I don't mean having life insurance with your employer. If you have life insurance with your employer, that's cool, but make sure you have insurance outside of your job, because if you lose your job, that insurance that you have no longer will exist. So you want to make sure you have life insurance outside. And this is extremely critical right now because of what's going on. Unfortunately, people are dying, as Trump said, people who have never died before are dying, right? How crazy is that, right? But you want to be very mindful that you want to sign up for life insurance. GoFundMe is not life insurance. Having, a bake sale or a food drive or selling, food at your local church is not considered life insurance. And we need to understand the importance of it, because other races and other people are using life insurance in addition to taking care of, unfortunate situations like death. They are using it to build wealth as well. So it could also be used as a wealth building tool and strategy if you know who to speak to and how to set it up.
Definitely. And guys, make sure you learn the different types of life insurance that they have. Again, she mentioned Dave Ramsey. He's a great resource to give more insight on these topics. But definitely that life insurance is good. We cannot continue to put up GoFundMe's for our family. And this is what I mean by the conversation that my wife and I were having, that she doesn't want to something to happen and leave the family with the bill. It is, it's quite embarrassing that um, to leave this type of burden with your family, and now they have to reach out to the community for them to donate funds to help bury you. And most of the time, those culprits are the ones that's, on social media, flashing and turning up. And we have to definitely be more and more responsible. Shout out to everybody that's logging on. Please share, please share. We are here with the legacy lady, Keishan Rowe. So, okay, sign up for life insurance. Check out the rates. check out, what allows you to position yourself to be okay if anything happens. While crisis may be a part of life, we can minimize a lot of the crises that many of us face when it comes to our finances. And again, I'll post this to my page. I'll post the 10 things that we can do financially to um, you know, do during this economic downturn. And so you can have it as your resource. If you look at the bottom of the screen, you have her website, KeishanRowe.com, Instagram, The Legacy Lady, Facebook, Keishan.Rowe. So you can check her out. You can follow her. Most days, I believe Tuesdays and Thursdays, you're doing, or you were doing lunch and learns. Are you still doing that? Cool, cool, cool. So yeah, you can check her out. All right. So what's the last one that
So,
we have for today?
okay, so before I go into the last one, I want to share this last thing. So with everything that's going on with COVID-19, a lot of the insurance companies, the life insurance companies, are not issuing life insurance because of what's going on. And there's a lot of rules that are going on that says that if you knew you were sick and you signed up for life insurance, then unfortunately you might not get the payout. So make sure if you are well and you're doing fine and your family is doing well, this is the time for you to consult with someone. And if you don't have anyone, reach out to me and I can direct you to the person that I use to sign up for life insurance. But right now, you need to act with the spirit of urgency. A lot of times we drag our feet when it comes to certain things, but right now more than ever, this is the season for you to act with urgency. So
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
so number 10. So number 10, the last one
Woo!
is to educate yourself on the stimulus package and what is going on right now. So originally Congress passed the highest stimulus package ever in history at $2 trillion, right? And this was all directly associated with the coronavirus and what was going on in our nation. And a lot of people have been so diligent with wanting to receive information about that $1,200 stimulus check. However, they weren't becoming knowledgeable and aware of all the other programs that they had available, especially for small business owners. There was something that came out that gave small business owners, a certain amount of money. All they needed to do was sign up for it. The Small Business Act or administration, this was something that they were given to individuals who had small businesses. Paycheck protection program, they had all of these things. But again, you need to become extremely knowledgeable in the season. If you were unemployed, there was an additional $600 that you were going to receive on top of the money that you were getting from your state. Again, this was all included in the 2020 stimulus package. So it's extremely important that you know what's out there, because you could, again, not saying this is a time for you to capitalize on what's going on, but the reality of it is there are things that are happening that have never happened before. The stock market is crashing, right? You have people that are losing their jobs. There are resources out there for you to benefit from, but you have to educate yourself.
Guys, if you believe your life is valuable, you have to take this information and use it. They say ignorance is bliss, but in this case, I don't see how you can be happy and poor. Like it happy and uneducated. I just don't see how ignorance is bliss. And when it pertains to your finances, and Keishan, I want to thank you for, today. We're going to be, again, sharing this information a little later. Do me a favor, Keishan, you got some stuff coming up. I want you to share it with everybody.
Yes. So for small business owners, so again, this is the season where a lot of people are realizing that, their regular 9 to 5 is not going to cut it for them, because either they are on reduced schedules, they're working minimum hours, they're not working at all because they've been either furloughed or, let go. They're saying to themselves that, you know what, this might be a great time for me to start my own business. And what I'm offering is a masterclass to individuals. And, everybody calls their class a masterclass. However, this class that I'm offering is going to take you from where you are now in the beginning phases of thinking about your business and come up with strategies, some tools on how to execute it. One of which I'm going to share tax deductions. Again, a lot of people are paying a ton of money on their tax returns and not realizing that if they have a small business, that can reduce their taxable income.
Right.
So if you are a musician and you travel and you do gigs, that's your little freelancing business that you have on the side. That's a business. You can write off, vehicle expenses. If you have to drive and you're putting gas in your car, you can deduct that. Insurance on your car. All of these things people are not cognizant of. But if you don't have the right CPA or the right accountant and you're going to, and no shade to H&R Block, and all these other turbo tax, those things are good for you to use, but if you don't know the rules and the laws that other big businesses know, then you're going to put yourself at a disadvantage. So I'm offering a masterclass where I'm going to be talking about the top 37 deductions that people can take.
Ooh.
Talking about grants and loans that are potentially available for small time business owners. All of this stuff is going to be offered, and the class is going to take place on Monday, not this Monday, next week Monday, and it's going to be great. And I'm asking if you are interested and you want to transform your business and you want to know how to create a business budget. Again, I talked about having a personal budget, but if you are not a good steward of your personal budget, what makes you think you're going to create a great business and know how to operate that successfully? So the two work hand in hand. So I take the time to sit down and talk to you about how to create a business budget, how to take the deductions, what can you deduct versus what you can and cannot deduct. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Yo, that's good stuff. So that is Monday, May 4th. Monday,
Yes.
May 4th. And do me a favor, guys. Keishan can be found on her website, Instagram, Facebook. The information is flashing across the bottom of the screen. Even when this is over, please share this. Please share this information. Please get in touch with her. It's tax season. Some of you haven't done your taxes yet. Get in touch with her. She can help you. Just share the one testimony real quick about how you saved your client some money.
Okay, so I had one client this year. This was her first year being a business owner. She did amazing in her business. She made a significant amount of money in comparison to last year. But unfortunately, when being a small business owner and you get that revenue, you're not paying taxes on that money, right? So she didn't pay any taxes on the money that she received. So her liability was about a little over $5,000, right?
Wow.
After talking to her and asking her, okay, did you have, advertising expense? Did you have expenses related to travel? Did you buy a new laptop? Did you, all of these things I was asking her because I was working as hard as possible to reduce her taxable income. At the end of the day, based on my prying and getting additional information from her, I was able to take her taxes from $5,000 to $2,000. So instead of her paying IRS a big fat check, she was actually able to get a reduction based on the items that she provided that she spent throughout the year for her business, was able to bring that down to $2,000. And I had another client, she owed about $1,000, and she was a musician. She was an up and coming singer, and she paid for like studio time and all of this stuff. And after me asking her all of this additional stuff, I was able to bring her liability from $1,000 to actually getting a refund. So again, if you don't have a good accountant to, ask the right questions, especially if you have a business, you're going to be owing the IRS thousands of dollars each year.
Wow. Okay. So this is how we're going to end this. Yo, Keish, you have been absolutely amazing. And I want to say this, guys. Don't look at the price of education.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the price of being uneducated.
Wow.
We keep saying how expensive things are to live healthy, to go to school. But when you look at the investment versus you not having that access to that information and using it, you pay way more being poor, being unhealthy, than you would if you were healthy and spent the money being educated. You pay way more.
That's it.
And what we're trying to do, guys, is help keep money in your pocket so that you can save and so that you can grow. This is an investment. You are worth more. You guys are worth more than you actually know. The government knows. And that's why they don't want you to have the information. These companies know. They know you're not going to sit down and read that fine print. Do me a favor, guys. Call your car insurance. Get that thing lowered. Call your credit card companies. Get those interest rates low. Get those interest rates lower. Go and research the right type of banking that you're gonna, save with and use. Because guess what? They're using your money to invest to make them money.
That's it.
So,
and a lot of people don't realize that's what these big banks are doing. The money that you're putting in there, that's why the interest rates are little to nothing. They're taking your money and they're investing your money, and you're not seeing any return on it. None.
Yeah, guys, we're gonna bring Keishan back. We're gonna bring her back. We're gonna, it's tax season, so she's been a little busy, but we're gonna definitely bring her back during the week and try to get her on during the week if we can. And to our other family and friends, who have been supporting me, kind of treating me like I'm daytime TV. I appreciate it. Making me feel special. Thank you for the DMs and inboxes. But this type of information, we want to make sure we get it out to people. And I want to say I'm glad that you and I know each other, that, God has burdened you with this, because this is also a ministry that we need to invest in, that we need to be connected to, so that we all can be good. So I want to say thank you. I appreciate you. And again, guys, at the bottom of the screen is where you can find her. Sign up for her class and share this video. Everybody have an awesome, awesome day. Oh, wait, sorry. Let me pray out real quick. So, God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for Keishan. We thank you for her life. Father, we pray that you will continue to bless everything that she put her hands to do, God, that you will increase her. Father, allow the community to open our hearts to the information that she has. We cancel the spirit of pride that will cause us not to ask, that will leave us in the dark and leave us ignorant. But Father, let us walk in the spirit of humility, that we may ask the questions, that we may find ourselves on the right side of the financial decisions. And we thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate your life.
Yes.
I appreciate what you're doing for the community, and I pray that God will continue to open up doors for you and allow you to pour into people in a different way. Like, not
Word.
a lot of pastors are doing things like this, and I think especially in this day and age, this stuff is critical.
Absolutely.
We have to be innovative with when getting to our congregants and people outside of our communities, getting them information. So thank you so much for extending the invitation to me, and I'm looking forward to sharing more information with your audience.
Oh yeah, we're gonna set this up. We're gonna set this up like A to the stack. We're gonna set this up for sure. So again, thank you.
No problem at all.